Hiya folks, it is now 5 to 10 in the morning, Sunday morning. We've been here since 9 o'clock. Where's Mr. Smith?
Hard at it, hard at it.
He's not here.
Working hard.
What can I say? But we are getting on with it, not letting the side down. Here he is, Mr. Smith coming in. Yeah folks, it is now, look at that, 10 o'clock in the morning.
In episode 1, we managed to fire up and drive the car into the workshop under its own steam before stripping it down, doors, interior, bonnet and boot, before having its body removed from the chassis. We then cleaned said chassis and removed the engine and the fuel system. Then in part 2, the focus was on repairing any rot and painting only what wasn't visible on the exterior. Then we replaced suspension, brake and steering components as well as many engine ancillaries. The engine itself was good, and because the attraction of this car to me was that although the body was patinated and mossy, someone had resto-modded it with a galvanised chassis, larger 602cc engine and disc brakes from a 1980s 2CV. My name's Jonny Smith and I love rescuing cars with character. Welcome to the Late Break Show. Day 3, still lots to do. Won't be finishing it today, but we're going to hopefully get the body on the chassis and break the back of it, as it were, not literally. There's still, well, the big jobs we're going to hopefully tackle today, apart from getting the body on the chassis, getting the engine in, suspension and brakes finished, drive shafts in, and I've still got a little bit of wiring to do, which is my nemesis, but it's a vital part of the car. Got to get it right. And once we've done, might be able to start the upholstery as well. The seats have been dyed and they're dry. My dad's helped me with that because the weather's got better. It's just easier to dye seats and stuff. So we've done that. Then we might be able to put new padding on, get the seats sorted. So it'll look like a car by the end of today, I think. What are you doing, Richard?
So we're just talking down the shock nuts. I've already done this one, and you mark it when it's done. You mark it straight away, so we know it's A, know it's done, and B, know if it's slackened off. So I'm about to do this one, and then when I've done this one, we've got the 3 plate bolts to do over there, which are a much lower torque setting. Quite conveniently, Darren's got his Bible here, which has got all the torque settings on anyway. It's absolutely fantastic. So I've set this one already to 92, and I'm going to do this one now and then mark it straight away. Normally I like to do one swing when I torque it up, but...
You're a one swing guy.
Yeah. So that's that done.
What? So hang on, if you don't get this torque setting right, what's the consequences?
Well, it'll just, over time, it'll slacken off. These are nylox, but it's a bit of a belt and braces approach, really, but you just need to make sure everything's done. Mainly as well, if you don't use a torque wrench, there's always the danger of over-tightening, which is not great, stripping threads and stuff like that. So just using the torque settings, absolutely, you just know it's right. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So I'll duck under, we're doing these ones here now.
Duck under.
So I've already done these ones. So they've all been marked up, and that's the other reason I'm marking them up. You see, I just know I've done them. So those ones are
it's extremely
now
logical. I like it.
39. So I'll just reduce this down to 39. And we'll do exactly the same on the 3 bolts there. So 39, pen ready. They are 13s, I think.
That's the most slick-looking torque wrench I've ever seen.
It's a bit cool, isn't it?
It's a bit bloody cool, isn't it?
Where's 13 gone? 13, 13, 13. No, 14. Yeah, there you go. So now, exactly the same thing. So just check that set to 39. There you go. And what I'm going to do with these ones, I'm just going to tighten them all up. And then I'm just going to whip round and check them again, just in case in doing the other ones. There you go, that one there. Last one. So they're all taut, but what I like to do is just go round and just check them again. So
that's a dad thing to do. Because my dad is an absolute offender of that.
Really?
Yeah, and he has a history of stripping one of them on the second round.
Which that's all done. And then quick mark, cross there, down there, and then on the back plate as well. Last one, and then we know that is jobs are good 'un.
You've done it. Driveshafts.
Yeah, drive shaft.
So is this just had new boots fitted?
New boots, re-grease, you know, general check over.
Yeah.
But they're okay, so they're going back in. Yeah, just giving them all a bit of a dab of Loctite. Yeah, because they don't actually go that tight. So.
Oh, don't they?
No, they're only 49 foot-pounds, so just give them a little dab of Loctite just to make sure.
Yeah. Darren, can you show me your proboscis?
Oh, yes. It's thin, but long. Right? No complaints yet.
Yeah.
Now, quite common on a 2CV, you get honking suspension. You go over a bump,
Actually honks?
Yeah, it honks at you. Because what there is inside here, as Joe explained yesterday, there's a spring doing this, and there's a plate. And this rod is connected to the plate, so when the arm goes up and the back,
this suspension arm, yeah.
this rod pushes that, goes that way, compresses the spring, independent suspension.
Yeah.
But on the plate, there's like sort of fibre material what rubs against this tube. And when it gets dry, you know what it's like when it's dry and it's rubbing, things tend to honk.
I think we call it chafing.
Yes, yes.
So to avoid chafing, you use the proboscis.
Yes, you insert your tube. It won't hurt. It doesn't hurt, honestly.
And is this some sort of like mineral oil?
Yeah, you know, some people can use sunflower oil, castor oil. You don't want to put engine oil in because the early cars, the fibre bit was made out of rubber. And of course, it would expand and seize your suspension up. Well, not seize, but it'll honk even more.
Right.
So, give it a bit of a squirt. And then you pull it out. And you
and that's part of routine maintenance?
Yes, it is. I would say every time you service it, have it done.
6 weeks ago, or whatever it was, new clutch went in, didn't it? So it's had a new clutch, and really what we're going to do is just like a deep service and check, really, because we're convinced that it runs okay. But when we put it together for the MOT, probably going to drive it short journeys for 3-4 days just to see if anything falls off it, which is a normal thing when you put a car back together again. You just want to listen and treat it with kid gloves, really. Exciting time. Just had some lunch. We're about to put the engine in. Once the engine's in the chassis, we can put the body back on. We can remarry the body and the chassis. Clean down the engine, and it's having some new ancillaries like alternator, electronic ignition, and obviously normal service parts.
And we can use the clutch alignment to
And it can all go back together. Time to remarry the engine with the trans. I'm still amazed at how light it is. Brilliant.
Now what you do, gentlemen, put the top ones in. Now let go. Now if you turn the wheel, again, where's your nuts?
That's the hair.
You try doing that with a Chevy LS. Easy. Yeah. 2 lads just casually lifting it while the other guy just lines it up.
Jag V12, no problem.
Yeah.
I've done it on a harsh order of a French motorway before.
Bit scummy in there.
Yeah, can you see? Look at that. That's why we need to clean it. Because it looks like a chipmunk has been eating dry roast peanuts in there.
And that's a float. So if you go and put those 2 in a sonic cleaner for a good hour.
Right, on the bench here, we've got the carb that came off my 2CV. You can buy now new carburetors. We have rebuilt this one with a rebuild kit because we think it's actually it didn't need completely replacing. So that's done. Also, which is going to come later on today, one ancillary that I took home with me for my brother for some homework is the original early starter motor, which is this pole, this fascinating like pole to start old Decillier starter motor. My brother's rebuilt this, bless him, with some new old stock. He found some new old stock bushes and he had to machine a couple of new parts, which I'll get him to explain because I don't fully understand what he was talking about. But that's ready to now go on. And now Jacob's going to fit these with a new carb block.
Yeah, it's gonna take this off.
So that's the original carb block. Let's just have a quick look at
Yeah.
it.
And normally there's a paper gasket on one side and on the other side just to help it seal it.
Yeah.
But normally it just looks like someone's put some sealant on it. We don't put any sealant on it normally because it does normally causes problems later down the road.
Yeah.
So
you obviously got to dress the surface up
Yeah,
on the inlet manifold here.
we've got a bit of Emu cloth. We're going to give this a quick go over.
Yeah.
And then put the new parts on.
So although the exterior headlight bowls, they are worn, they're actually a little too worn in places. There's a couple of holes, as you can see, lots of rust flakes aside. We've got to dress this up and rust kill it. There's an actual hole in this one here, there, which we might have to weld repair that and then dress all this up before putting the new light unit in. All in the name of just retaining some of that. Sad really, isn't it? Darren's on his way round with a forklift full of wings. My patinated wings, I think.
All your parts?
Nice. Nice. The joy of it being good weather is we're doing more working outside. So these are the original seat frames. And Lisa and Melanie, who stripped them in the first place, are about to put new rubber bands on there and new foam. What you can probably see here, especially here, is these original seat covers. Well, they're probably not the original, they're probably a set from a long time ago still. I really like them and I think the fabric is fundamentally good. The padding had gone underneath, we can replace that, we've unpicked it. But now I'm going to try and dye this, clean it and dye it back to that kind of deep red that it was. I've got all the bits that I need. This is the back seat. I'm going to do this over the course of several days. I was going to do it outside with some sunshine and some warmth. There is neither sunshine or warmth. I've been waiting for a week or so. I'm getting bored now. So I'm going to hopefully do this and bring this back so I don't have to buy a whole new set of seat covers. First thing to do is I've got to give it a clean and get rid of some of the greasy stains on it. Just going to use a fairly stiff brush. Getting all of the stitch seams. So what I'm really hoping is that I can bring it back to being bright red without replacing the whole cover, because it's actually really good. And these are good quality. So I've got some generic dye, which came recommended online, like the fabric dye. You're supposed to put it on either with a sponge or a brush after you've wetted the surface of the fabric, and then do it in coats. Do as many coats as you like, but probably 3, which I'll do over the course of several days because I'm a bit busy. And I'm going to see if I can get that deep red back. So this is the stuff I'm going to use. I've bought it through recommendations. It's British, made by a company called Scratch Doctor. They're not paying me to say this, so if it's rubbish, I'm going to say so. But there were 2 different reds. There was like more of a burgundy. I've gone for a bright red because I think the fabric was indeed bright red. It'd be a lot easier if I was to have actually found the bottle for this. I've lost it somewhere, so be better than me and actually have a decent spray. I'm just going to do it like this. Just missed it. Now it's bound to show quite a pinky complexion initially. The reason why I've chosen a sponge rather than a brush, because this is quite thick fabric, quite chunky weave, and I want to make sure it soaks. It's got to soak in really deep. Yeah, and the horse agrees with me. Just mad how the UV has properly killed it. But yet the fabric, the UV's killed the colour, but it hasn't made the fabric brittle, so it must be good fabric. It must be. Nearly there. That's what it looks like with 2 coats of this dye on, water-based. I'm still not happy with it. I still think it needs at least another 2 coats probably. But I've been doing this when it's been cold. Now the weather's got better, I think we can do it again. So I've popped down to see my mum and dad, brought these with me. So this one has not been done at all. You can see how bleached the driver's seat is. That's the crease where the seatbelt goes. So I'm going to give this a clean, and then I'm going to hopefully give it one coat before dark, and then tomorrow I'm going to get my dad to do a couple of coats for each, and we'll see if it looks better. And then we can hopefully successfully repurpose the seat covers that I've been dyeing. I say I also had the expertise of my dad. Put these nice vibrant seat covers back on that have got plenty of life left in them. I'm going to wrap my bum in plastic.
Right, so the left hand drive.
Left hand drive.
Right.
Shit.
We were braced.
Went a long way down. It's certainly it's a lot of giving it.
Oh yeah.
Right, I'm going to go on this side to see if it takes it up.
You sit in 2CVs regular.
I know.
Don't forget, we haven't tied
We've got this more to tie on
when
yet.
this is tied tight.
So it will go a little bit. It will go a bit tighter, but it's the springing us.
It's boingy.
Yeah.
It's too boingy. How's it compared to your
What, do you want to sit in one of them?
Do you want to sit in one?
Well, I will wrap plastic around my arse.
Yep.
I fear that I've got grease on me. Oh, that is quite boingy.
Yeah.
And that's like, say, a single seat, not a bench.
It will tighten up when we have this.
Yeah.
Do you think it needs those cushions?
I don't think
Well, I worry with the cushions that it'll be lumpy.
Yeah.
Consider how bleached they were.
It might almost, I mean, my dad couldn't believe it. He said, "Where's it been? Like Arizona?" I said, no, it's been in Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you're happy with that, Willem.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool.
We'll hog
Should
it
put it back
down.
on the top of It's so light.
Yep.
My word. That's 2 seats. That's like 4 kilos. Amazing. So one of the last things that we need to do before we can reunite the body with the chassis is it's like a gasket kit, I guess, a foam gasket kit. So the body sits on this foam, right, where before you bolt the thing down. Once you bolt it down, it sandwiches it.
Yeah. Let's say most people just use normal foam. No good, not very nice. So Cease do the proper laser cut stuff, which is really nice to use.
Right, okay, cool. As you'll probably remember from the first video I did on this car, the chassis was a replacement chassis many years ago, and it's galvanised. So although it doesn't look beautifully painted and stuff, it doesn't need to be because it's galvanised. I might get it professionally ice blasted or something, or get under it, but for the time being, we don't need to worry.
So what we got is 2 wide bits front and rear.
For across here.
Yeah, that's it. That bit's not needed. So 2 wide bits front and rear. Those bits go on the back of the chassis legs out the back there.
Right, okay.
So you don't need that bit yet. And we don't need that bit yet.
So these wide bits are like char and char.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one is the same, and that will go across the back there.
Yeah. And then these, you were saying you push out the...
Yeah.
And this is where the body bolts go.
Through those holes here.
How many bolts is it to bolt the 2CV body back on?
Oh, now you're asking 14, if that.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, so 16.
Okay.
So these 2 here, these 2 little ones go on the back. So they'll sit like that. And Joe will do the other one.
Our glamorous assistant.
And then pull these apart.
Now, instead of throwing these away, because these are self-adhesive, that light colour's just like a, these little nodules, which you'd otherwise throw away. I'm thinking, might better use these for other parts of the interior, which might squeak when you first get it back on the road. Just anti-chafe strips.
and then sort of mock it up and make sure the bolt holes line up.
And that it's degreased so it sticks, right?
Well, the weight of the body holds it down anyway, so
This is just to locate it while you're lowering the body on.
yeah. So then either push or pull apart so you get it lined up.
Compress it a bit. The other thing you've got to do before you commit to lowering the body onto the chassis is make sure that you've definitely got any other jobs done that are easy peasy while we've got this level of access. So that's what, replacing the fuel lines, making sure you've got the sender unit for the fuel gauge, and making sure that nothing's trapped like the brake lines or anything like that. You'll be really annoyed. That's the polite way of saying it. You'll be really annoyed if you put the body on and realise that you didn't do it. Yeah, right. Things that people never say to me. So there you are.
It's funny.
We're getting there. We're getting there. And in the next episode, you'll probably see it going for an MOT, he says.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, subscribe, please.